So last night I attended Insane Championship Wrestling's only second ever event in Dundee. The same venue as the first show in Dundee this past October, Fat Sam's nightclub. The event this time was titled Kang Wins. I thought overall it was a really good show. I'll go through the matches in the order that they happened. Now, the situation with the ICW on-demand service is that this is going to be forming the first episodes, or at least first two episodes, of a brand new series that they will be having on Friday night. So, according to what Billy Kirkwood and his co-commentator said, I believe that they will be uploading the first part of the show this coming Friday, and then the second part of the show will be, at least part 2 of the show will be the next Friday. Although I believe from what the links that they were doing during the show, I believe there might be a slight difference to the actual running order of the show when it comes to these programs being broadcast, because a couple of the matches, well, one of the matches had already taken place when they said that that was going to be the main event. So it's going to be slightly, I think, just slightly mixed order when it comes to the episodes. But watch the episodes when they come out on the ICW on-demand service. I enjoyed the matches. So I'll run down what happened last night. Again, Fat Sam's nightclub in Dundee. ICW's only second ever event in Dundee, and I'm sure it will not be the last. I did report last October after a very quick talk really with ICW owner Mark Dallas that they would be back very early in 2015, and of course they have been, and I'm pretty sure, I'm hoping certainly that it won't be the last ICW show in Dundee for this year. So let's go through the matches and what happened on the show, and there's a lot to get through, so however long this video ends up being is just, to be honest, how long it's going to be, unfortunate, but it was a really good show. First match to kick off was the ICW 0G Championship match. Kenny Williams defending against Noam Dar. Now, these two are excellent talents. Noam Dar, part of TNA's British Boot Camp Series 2. I've seen him a couple of times in the last few months. This was, as usual, a 0G championship match, or type match. Very quick. Lots of kicks, drop kicks, very aerial. There was an extremely funny bit on this match when I think it was Noam Dar caught Kenny Williams' leg, swung his leg, but unfortunately it hit the referee in his nether regions, and then Noam Dar, as the referee was bent over and not able to see, kicked Kenny Williams in his nether regions, but then Noam Dar kind of turned around to look at the crowd, but then Kenny Williams back kicked Noam Dar, so all three of them were bent over with their hands on their crotch area for a few seconds before they all tipped over even, and all on the floor. I've got some good pictures. I'll put up a picture video tomorrow once I get it sorted, but a really good match. Kenny Williams defeated Noam Dar in the end after Tornado DDT. I can't remember, it's annoying me now what the name of the move is, but it was a kind of like Tornado DDT. Kenny Williams retained it as ICW 0G Championship. Next up was one of the two quick matches of the night. It was Nikki Storm defeating Sami Zayn. Now, I've said before, I'm a fan of women's wrestling. Some of them are really talented. Nikki Storm is certainly one of the very best talents in Scotland when it comes to the female wrestlers, I've said it before. Everybody knows it. She calls herself the best in the galaxy. She is tremendous talent, and Sami Zayn is a great talent as well. She has only been wrestling for, I think it's coming up to about later on this year, about 3 years of actual experience, because I'm sure it was around about 2012 she actually started competing in the ring. She's just getting better and better. I've seen Nikki Storm and Sami Zayn in Dundee on a regular basis with another company. Two great talents. This was a great match. Very much of a match that could go either way at several points. Sami Zayn does an excellent leaping over the top rope into a neck breaker move, which she executes brilliantly. Although Nikki Storm eventually defeated Sami Zayn after a twisting suplex. She had Sami Zayn legs on the ropes, did like a twisting suplex down to the mat, and was able to defeat Sami Zayn by pinfall to win this match. Really good match, quick match. You know, sometimes the woman could do with a little bit more time, but Nikki Storm said herself apparently earlier that it was a good match, but she says she's not finished with Sami Zayn yet, and certainly the look that Nikki Storm was giving Sami Zayn as Nikki was exiting the stage, certainly looked like they'll meet again sometime very soon. The next match was Joe Hendry versus Mikey Whiplash. Now, I know that I'm not trying to cause controversy or that anyway, because a lot of people know this already. People say a lot of different things about Mikey Whiplash. You know, I know that I've seen certainly posts on Facebook, on Twitter that you know, some people are not, well, mostly Twitter actually, but some people are not really comfortable with the look that Mikey Whiplash has. He has like black and white face paint and many different designs that he puts on. He also wears, especially last night, you'll see on my picture video when I put it up, he had this like PVC kind of like a mini skirt thing, and it's almost kind of bondage S&M kind of look that he has. I know some people don't like him, even just don't like the Mikey Whiplash as a person or a character or a persona, whatever. People prefer to actually refer to it as, but he is an excellent wrestler, and this was a great technical match. You know, Joe Hendry, I've said it before, he's only been wrestling for just over 1 year. He is an excellent up-and-coming talent in Scottish wrestling, and there are many of those right at this current time. There are some more that I'll get to later on. This was a greatly technically fought match. Each exchanged arm bars, leg locks. So this was a fantastic match. I'm really looking forward to seeing this match again on the ICW On Demand service. I like Mikey Whiplash. This is only, I think, the second time that I've actually seen him wrestle live. I think, you know, but he's an excellent wrestler. He proved why he's one of Scotland's top talents. Joe Hendry eventually defeated Mikey Whiplash, but again by pinfall, after Mikey was distracted by a video that played. It was an old Mikey Whiplash promo, for part of a Mikey Whiplash promo, saying he's dead, he's dead, he's D-E-A-D, he's dead. Obviously no idea what exactly that's, you know, about right at this time, but it distracted Mikey Whiplash enough for Joe Hendry to grab Mikey Whiplash, put him on his shoulder like a shoulder breaker, and then do a falling slam on Mikey Whiplash, which is his finisher maneuver, and defeat Mikey Whiplash. So whatever this video messaging, it's happened a couple of times in Mikey's matches apparently. It seems certainly something or someone is causing this, and you know, I'm really interested I'm looking forward to seeing who this is and how this story unfolds. But Joe Hendry, another monumental win against somebody likes of Mikey Whiplash, particularly in ICW. Next up was the ICW Tag Team Championship match. Polo Promotions, Jackie Polo and Mark Coffey, who defeated the Bucky Boys to retain the ICW Tag Team Championships. Now, this was an excellent match as well. The Bucky Boys, they never lost the ICW Insane Championship Wrestling Tag Team Championships. Unfortunately, several months ago, when Davey Blaze was injured, they had to give up the ICW Tag Team Championship. The title was declared vacant, and they've not yet been able to actually regain the championships that they never lost. That may seem like an old story, but certainly, the Bucky Boys are an excellent tag team. They showed exactly why. This was a fantastic match. Some great teamwork by both of them. Stevie Boy having the smaller of the Bucky Boys, showing the pace, the athleticism with the insecurities, the arm drag, some really good manoeuvres here, and Davey Blaze taking his strength to Polo Promotions, both Jackie Polo and Mark Coffey. And to be honest, I know these two teams have had a feud for quite a while. At one point, I think it was Davey Blaze whipping Mark Coffey into the ropes. I honestly had that thought at that point. That could be a massive feud in the future for ICW. Mark Coffey against Davey Blaze. I certainly think those two guys, if they ever, and I know Mark Coffey has been a part of the Coffey Brothers, which is with his brother Joe, who's I'll come to in a few minutes, on his part of the event. I honestly think that these two guys ever go into singles competition just by themselves, not being part of the Bucky Boys and Polo Promotions and occasionally wrestling in a singles role. I think if these two guys go single full time, I think ICW need to watch out. It was a great match. The end unfortunately came for the Bucky Boys when Mark Coffey German suplexed Davey Blaze. It looked really seriously like Davey Blaze came down on the top of his shoulders and the back of his neck. That took him out of the match. And unfortunately, Polo Promotions, Jackie Polo and Mark Coffey were able to take advantage. Jackie Polo and Mark Coffey surrounded Stevie Boy, threw him up in the air. Mark Coffey, who was behind him, German suplexed him when he came down, and they were able to get the pinfall. Davey Blaze was unable to get up. He was when he was German suplexed, he actually ended up being thrown quite a bit out the ring and onto the floor. So he couldn't get into the ring, unfortunately, in time to stop the 3 count. Well, he couldn't really get up, really, to be honest. It looked like he seriously hurt his neck, but he's had trouble with his neck before. An excellent match. Again, certainly a match to look out for again, and I'm talking about a future rematch. The Bucky Boys, I don't think, will stop in their attempts to regain the ICW Tag Team Championships. Next was Dickie Divers taking on Tommy End of the Sumerian Death Squad. Tommy End was actually accompanied in this match by Mikey Whiplash, who Tommy End accompanied in his match earlier in the night. No real distraction or interference by either men during each other's match. They're in a part of a group called Legion. Very unusual. Obviously, I'm not, completely knowing exactly everything that's going on in ICW, unfortunately, because I've still quite a few shows I've got to catch up on. But certainly there seemed no interference. It seemed like both men were though accompanied and kind of advised at points by each other during the matches, it seemed that both men were left to stand alone, to wrestle their match. And it was a really good match. Dickie Divers is the current Square Go champion. He won the annual Square Go match last month. That's kind of like the Royal Rumble, but with some weapons. So he has a briefcase, kind of like Money in the Bank, that will allow him an ICW Championship match anytime that he wants to in the future. So Dick Divers is part of the New Age Clique stable, along with the likes of Chris Renfrew. They're certainly showing their power in ICW, and to be honest, there are several genuine contenders actually in ICW for the ICW Heavyweight Championship, and Dickie Divers was able to defeat Tommy End by pinfall in this match. I honestly think that ICW are doing a good job in bringing up all these contenders. You know, we all know, and I haven't watched it because the episode on UK TV was actually last night at 9 PM while this show was undergoing. I haven't seen the first episode of Impact Wrestling taped in Glasgow. Although, as I said, I did the rundown thanks to the different reports from my friends there at the show, had the results and so forth, looking at the show. I've not actually seen the show yet, so I look forward to seeing that sometime this week, and then next Sunday is the second show from Glasgow. And of course, the second show features the debut of the current ICW Insane Championship Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion, as they're now calling him, Drew Galloway, formerly Drew McIntyre. He defeated Matt Hardy in an event for, I believe it's called Family Wrestling Entertainment, FWE, in New York City. And I believe, according to what ICW owner Mark Dallas has worked out, apparently there's so many places that a title has to be defended, and so many continents that it has to be defended before you can call it a World Heavyweight Championship. And apparently, this past week in New York, Drew Galloway marked the final one, so they are now calling it the ICW World Heavyweight Championship. Drew Galloway successfully retaining against Matt Hardy last week. Drew wasn't present actually at the show, but who was Joe Coffey. Now, this came as a bit of a surprise, but what happened? A gentleman called Saqib Ali, and that's Saqibali, a gentleman I hadn't actually seen before, Pakistan descent, I believe. According to his Twitter, he made his entrance. I believe he was supposed to have a match. He started speaking to the crowd, and I apologize if this is wrong, but I believe it was Punjabi. I believe that's what you call the language of Pakistan. I believe that is the language that he was. I believe he was actually berating the crowd in. I'll tell you why. Because he is looking at his Twitter. He is actually Scottish. I believe he's from the Glasgow area, at least living in the Glasgow area now. As he suddenly said in his Glasgow accent, Scottish accent anyway, actually, hang on, this isn't working. And I thought for a moment, perhaps we will, perhaps this is not, perhaps he was berating the crowd, but perhaps this is actually going to be a slight change, and maybe, he's going to be, obviously, in this whole political circumstances, etc., which is, I'm not obviously going into on a wrestling video, perhaps, he's going to be a good guy, babyface, but no, he then continued to berate the crowd. In fact, he said he was in a Dundee shop earlier in the day looking for protein bars, which like kind of apparently like these cereal bars and so forth. He was in a Dundee shop earlier in the day looking for protein bars. He actually flexed his arm at this point, but to be honest, I think he's a little bit underdeveloped to do that slightly. Well, he was in good shape, and again, you can see that you'll see the picture of him in my video, my picture video tomorrow. He said he couldn't understand the woman in the shop, the shopkeeper. She was saying "wit" and "wah," and he basically made out that she was stupid, and that that's probably what going on typical that's what Dundee people are like. I thought he was actually quite good what he said. I thought he was delivering it very well. He didn't get very too far into what he was saying as just one person over. In fact, I was standing, because a couple of my friends had been standing in line for several hours. We were able to get to the front of the queue, and so we were standing right at the because at ICW events you're actually standing, you're not sitting. So we were standing right at the guardrail, right in front, because Fat Sam's is not a huge area where the ring's set up, so it's very close to the ring. There's obviously a little bit of room, obviously, for the wrestlers to go around and wrestle and fight or that. And I think actually, not one of them, this is unusual, I believe not one of the matches ended up fighting at the bar at Fat Sam's. Just thinking about that there. That's unusual for an ICW event, obviously, because Drew Galloway wasn't there and Jack Jester wasn't there. That's probably the reason why I don't believe that any of the matches actually, I'm pretty sure I'm right, that none of the matches ended up at the bar area, which is unusual for an ICW show in a venue such as Fat Sam's. But anyway, we were standing right at the guardrail. One person over, I was standing next to a few of my friends, and on my left hand side was my friend John Mitchell. Just beside my friend John, suddenly caught my eye, and caught, I will say, everybody's eye, standing kind of half climbing, half perched on the guardrail, was somebody in quite a big guy, in a hooded jacket with a hood up, and the gentleman was wearing an Iron Man mask. Yes, the superhero Iron Man, a grey Iron Man mask. It was none other, of course, than the Iron Man of ICW himself, Joe Coffey. Now, Joe Coffey has got a match coming up on March 29th in Glasgow at the Barrowlands I'm not sure whether it's arena or certainly you call it Barrowlands Arena, which is famous for its market, and their event is called Barrowmania. It's actually happening at the same day, same night as WrestleMania. Obviously, due to the time difference, sold out tickets now for that show, but it's going to be happening the same night as WrestleMania, but obviously a few hours earlier due to the time difference. Joe Coffey is scheduled to take on Drew Galloway in an ICW World Heavyweight Championship match. Joe Coffey interrupted Saqib Ali, saying that he was very disgruntled. Apparently, when he got to the arena, there was a notice on the door saying that Joe Coffey was to dress outside the main locker room, to get changed with the trainees, and then when he saw the match card, there was no match for Joe Coffey on the match card. At this point, when Joe Coffey had his back to Saqib Ali, Saqib actually attacked Joe Coffey. Joe very quickly fought him off and ended up German suplexing him, which put an end to Saqib Ali for the night. So quite anybody that knows seen Joe Coffey, and that's Coffey. He's a tremendous wrestler. If you have it, again, go to the ICW On Demand service. I haven't watched the whole event yet, but check the 2015 Square Go event. It's the opening contest between Joe Coffey and Jack Gallagher. It's an excellent wrestling match. For anybody that thinks Joe Coffey or heard of Joe Coffey, who's trained around the world, as he said, If you think he's just a suplex guy, kind of like Brock Lesnar, or a big power move guy, watch the first match at the Square Go. Watch a few of his matches. Go through the ICW again. I said before, if you've got ICW on demand service, go through a few of the shows, watch them. Go through a few of the guys' matches. Look for the Joe Coffey matches. He's an excellent wrestler. After getting rid of Saqib Ali, that's what he said. Said he's a self-made wrestler. That although said that this wasn't really a heel move, a heel comment. He said that ICW didn't entirely make Joe Coffey. That he's a self-made man. That he's worked hard. Like he said, he's trained in Japan. He's wrestled around the world. That he is the Iron Man of ICW. He did say that to the fans that that when he comes out, that the fans chant ICW, but they should really be chanting Joe Coffey or something similar. He slated the ICW champion Drew Galloway for not being there, and eventually he actually went into the crowd and stood in amongst the crowd and said, well, basically laid out a challenge to Drew Galloway. Said that he's coming to Barrowmania on March 29th for the ICW Heavyweight Championship. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing that match. Drew Galloway versus Joe Coffey for the ICW World Heavyweight Championship at Barrowmania. I'm not going to be there. As I said, tickets are sold out. I'm not going to I'm making the trip to, unfortunately, able to make the trip to Glasgow to see it, but it is going to be obviously on demand, on the ICW on demand service. I don't know how long after the event. They're normally going to put them up about 24 hours or so after the event is normally when they put up these kind of events, especially the big events. Barrowmania is going to be a big event. It's going to be a huge show. So I'm really looking forward to sitting down when it's uploaded onto the on-demand service and watching Barrowmania, and including that Joe Coffey versus Drew Galloway match. It is going to be a great match. It really is. Joe Coffey, as I said earlier, he used to team with his brother Mark in ICW. I think they team up occasionally at events outside ICW sometimes still. But certainly in ICW they've gone their separate ways. And honestly, Joe Coffey's got, and I keep going on about one wrestler because all the talent on the show are great talents, but certainly I said earlier about the Mark Coffey, Davey Blaze could be a great feud for the future. I think Joe Coffey versus many of the guys in ICW could be a great thing, and who knows what direction Drew Galloway is going to go now. He's signed with Impact Wrestling. What is his focus going to be off ICW enough for somebody like Joe Coffey to take the championship? As I said earlier, Dickie Divers has got the briefcase to cash in for a championship match. Chris Renfrew again, Dickie Divers' stablemate in the New Age Click, the NAK, is also, I'm sure, not finished with his push for the ICW championship. So there's several. I said there are several great challengers coming for the ICW Heavyweight Championship. So Drew Galloway will have to have eyes in many different directions, not just the back of his head, in the upcoming months in the next few ICW events. Next up, the penultimate match was the second, a very quick match. It was Big Damien O'Connor, the Beast of Belfast, defeating DCT by pinfall. This was a very quick match. DCT is part of Polo Promotions as well. To be honest, DCT is a good personality. He hasn't had much success in ring. Damien O'Connor very quickly made short work of DCT and actually finished him off with his electric chair sit down power bomb where he has him up on his shoulders and then flicks him right down to a sit-in power bomb. Very quick win for Damien O'Connor. After the match ended, Damien O'Connor delivered a Van Jaminator, otherwise aka a coast to coast, on DCT. Put a steel chair onto DCT, climbed up, and this is amazing for a 6'5", 300-pound guy to do. Balanced on, kind of crouching down, but still balanced on the top rope, one side of the ring, and then leapt with a diving drop kick onto the steel chair, obviously whacking it right into DCT, who was obviously in the normal sitting down against the bottom corner position. That is a coast-to-coast Van Daminator. An amazing, so athletic, and again, Damien O'Connor is another guy who could easily go again, challenge for the ICW Heavyweight Championship. Then it came to the main event, a 6-man tag team match, the 55 Kid Fight. Martin Kirby and Tim Weil, accompanied by James R. Kennedy, against Grado and two mystery partners. We didn't know even actually going into this match who Grado's partners would be, because early in the night Grado came out. He said that, look at him, he's in his jobber jacket. It was the jacket that Colt Cabana gave him. He had a lot of stubble on his chin, on his face, and he said that he'd been having sleepless nights, because he's been targeted by the 55 before, and he's been having sleepless nights about the situation and who's his tag team partner's going to be. Eventually, Noam Dar came out to be Grado's tag team partner. We expected another tag team partner for Grado. It didn't come. Unfortunately, I believe it was Martin Kirby that came through the crowd as the rest of the 55 made their entrance on the stage and attacked Grado and Noam Dar from behind. This started the match, and eventually, unfortunately, the numbers proved too much for Noam Dar and Grado, and they were on the receiving end of a lot of punishment. Again, I'm not going to move for move because I want people to go and watch this on the ICW On Demand service. I believe this new series, the first 24 hours, even people who are not subscribed to the ICW On Demand service will be able to watch it. So first 24 hours, it's kind of like a taste of the ICW On Demand service, and a kind of a taste of Insane Championship Wrestling. You'll be able to watch them, watch the episodes if you're not subscribed. Eventually, though, Grado and Noam Dar was able to get some momentum going, and Grado delivered kind of a high angle rock bottom to Tim Wiley. Excuse me, Tim Wiley, which left everybody lying down. That was the moment where Grado finally received his third tag team partner. Unscheduled to be there, it was none other than Wolfgang, an amazing ICW wrestler that took on Drew Galloway the last time ICW was in Dundee. Very much, a popular name in the company. Wolfgang came out, immediately made the difference in this matchup, but unfortunately it seemed that the punishment handed out by the 55 to Grado and Noam Dar proved to they did earlier in the match proved to just be a bit too much, as unfortunately the tide turned. Although Wolfgang was able to turn the tide for several minutes, have that immediate impact, and even have Grado deliver a roll and slice, unfortunately the punishment proved too much, and the debauchery by, to be honest, by the 55 led to them being to tying up Wolfgang against the ropes using duct tape. I saw a pair of handcuffs as well possibly being used. I know certainly again, I think it was Martin Kirby or Kid Fight, using a chain to choke out Grado, and eventually they were able to gain a pinfall to win the match. So, unfortunately, as much as Wolfgang came in and tried to back up Noam Dar and Grado, I think unfortunately the punishment was handed out very viciously during the early part of the match, and unfortunately Wolfgang arrived unfortunately just a little bit too late. And I said it's because of the punishment Noam Dar and Grado actually had suffered. They were able, the 55 were able to get them down long enough to all, like a pack of wolves, just jump on Wolfgang, pack of lions even, jump on Wolfgang, and be able to beat him down enough to gaffer tape him to the middle rope, and as much as he tried, Wolfgang couldn't get free. In the end, as well, after the match, more punishment handed out to Grado by the 55, as he was held up by James R. Kennedy and the rest of the 55 before they actually took a solid steel pipe and whacked it against Grado's, it was left leg. They whacked him really well with it. It was quite a noise when they whacked it. I don't know whether to be honest, you'll hear the sound on the cameras, but I can certainly hear it. Certainly had a great whack against Grado's leg with a steel pipe, and I know it was a damn solid steel pipe, because afterward I think it was Wolfgang, somebody threw it onto the stage area, and you just heard that big clang of metal on the stage. So unfortunately Grado, Noam Dar and Wolfgang came up on the losing end in the main event last night. Overall, I thought it was a really good show. Certainly a lot of continued storylines. They're definitely leading up to obviously a couple other. They've got a couple of other events on the Insane Entertainment System tour. A couple of them before Baromania. I think there's one next week, and I know there's an event. I believe it's in Newcastle on March 28th, the night before Baromania. That's going to be a great card, a good go-home show, I'm sure. There's some great feuds going on in ICW right now. I think that ICW, they're selling out arenas. I don't know whether it was sold out last night. Certainly a huge crowd there, a very well packed. It's not a huge. Fat Sam's is not a huge venue, unfortunately, but it was certainly packed with a lot of people trying to make their way to the toilets or the merchandise stands, check out what they were selling, and because I ended up got a T-shirt and a DVD, and trying to make your way around anywhere was quite difficult. Like I said, it's a standing at ICW, but certainly a really good show. Again, and I've highlighted a few of the talents on the show. But to be honest, all the people, in fact, because of Nikki Storm and Sami Zayn as well, all the guys on the show are great talents. I think ICW have a great roster of people right now. There's some fantastic guys, not just in the main event, like I said earlier. The Mark Coffeys, the Joe Coffeys, the Davey Blazes, those guys who, maybe perhaps in a year or two, may even be main eventing shows on a single basis. Jackie Poe is a well-known talent. He's great talent on his own right. Mikey Whiplash, like all those guys that I've mentioned, all the people that I've mentioned that were part of last night's show. Put on a great show. I'm looking forward to seeing where these storylines go. The 55 against Grado storyline. Joe Coffey, like I said, against Drew Galloway will be an excellent match. The main event, Baromania. I'm really looking forward to when I get the chance to sit down and watch that show, that match. Honestly, ICW are having some really great shows late. So if you can, again, look at ICW, insanewrestling.co.uk. They also have a Facebook page. Check them out if they've got a show near you. Over 18s only, but it's an excellent show, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where ICW goes over the next few months, and hopefully, certainly within this year, I'm really hoping that they will be back in Dundee, or that I doing another show, or that I can attend another ICW Insane Championship Wrestling show.